What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and today we're gonna be talking about the Portland Trail Blazers. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment an idea down below, subscribe if you're new. I have a gaming channel, links in the description. Let's get right into the video. Guys, I didn't even know about this. I knew the Blazers were underperforming a little bit, and I heard some people talk about, how they're the most disappointing team in the league this year. And then I got a suggestion yesterday on one of my videos to talk about the Blazers. So I looked into it. Earlier, I looked at the Western Conference standings to find out that the Blazers are not the 8th seed anymore right now. I mean, they're the 10th seed in the Western Conference, and if the playoffs began today, they would not be in the NBA playoffs, which is ridiculous because we had some crazy expectations for them after they, it's funny because they were the most surprising team last year, and they might just be the most disappointing team this year. And, kind of funny how these things happen. But I have a couple of theories as to why this is. I'm going to evaluate this. We're going to take a look at the Blazers, see if they can fix this. Their record right now, I believe, they're 13-20 or something like that. Don't, get mad at me if I'm wrong because it might not be that, but they're not looking good right now. I think it's something like 13-20, but, yeah. So we're going to talk about something that George Karl said. If you guys don't know, George Karl released a book, and there have been plenty of excerpts in the book that have gone viral. People are talking about this like crazy. He slams Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin. I don't know if there's something about DeMarcus Cousins in there or not. He also had something about PED use. He was talking about the players are using drugs. There's a drug problem, steroid problem, whatever. There's a lot of stuff in that book that, made headlines because, it was a lot of stuff that is shocking, that people don't usually say, maybe not politically correct to say, but, also maybe uses material to sell the book. Anyway, what this has to do with the Portland Trail Blazers is that I think there was a piece, I don't know if this is in the book or if this is a quote from him recently or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was from the book, but he was talking about the Portland Trail Blazers, why they're struggling. And I actually don't think this is from the book. This might have been just something he said, but I have no idea. He said that Terry Stotts is a fantastic coach, so Damian Lillard is the problem. Isn't that crazy? If the coach, is a good coach and your team's not doing good, I guess you got to blame the best player on the team, the leader on the team. I guess all the blame goes to him and not the fact that it was poorly constructed, the team. That's my theory of it. I don't have any problem with Damian Lillard. Yes, I know that the Blazers have defensive problems. I know that this team is one of the worst defensive teams, not only in the league, but they could be one of the worst defensive teams of all time. They are the worst defensive team in the NBA. But this could be a historically bad defensive team. Now, this is weird because they weren't this bad last year. What did they do? They have the same starting lineup basically as they did last year. I'm going to say it's the backcourt in terms of defense. Because you have guys in that lineup like Al-Farouq Aminu, Mason Plumlee, Mo Harkless that are out there, and they can do some defensive things. And I don't have any problem with that front court defending. But when you get to the back court, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are two of the worst defensive guards in the NBA. And then you got them both together. And I know how much damage these guys do on offense. They're ridiculous. They're sharpshooters. They got moves. They are so smooth with how they play. But they don't play both ends. They just don't. And, these guys, they give up a ton of points. The team gives up a ton of points. I know the bench is also really bad defensively. But, this is just not... I don't understand, how they're this bad. I can understand why this team would be a bad defensive team and why they, wouldn't be as good as their expectations because, I know they were a 5th seed. They were in the second round of the playoffs, but they won 44 games, and that's not that many. The Western Conference, was really plagued with injuries. I'm talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, and had the Grizzlies stayed healthy, maybe they would have gotten a spot over the Blazers. And I know they got that 5th spot, but, they won 44 games. That's my point here. But, they were still a good team, and they're expected to be better with some free agent acquisitions, guys just getting better. Damian Lillard's having, his best offensive season so far. Same with CJ McCollum. You got guys having career years, and this team is, they're trying to build a championship squad, and it just doesn't work out. And this team probably won't even make the playoffs because the Sacramento Kings have been playing good ball, and I don't understand how the Portland Trail Blazers will end up turning this around. I mean, you take a look at the team. What are you going to do? You're not going to trade Lillard or McCollum, I don't think, because that's trading away your future. Those are stars in this league, and they're going to be better than they are now. They're not even that, in that prime age right now. They're both super young. And then, yeah, your front court, I guess you can do something with that, but there's not a lot of value there. I do think Portland made a mistake, maybe even 2 mistakes. They signed Allen Crabbe to a monster deal and Evan Turner. I don't think Evan Turner fits this team at all. And Allen Crabbe, he's a very good player. I don't know if he's worth the money, but he's definitely helping this team because he provides a lot of scoring off the bench, but yeah, not a defender. Evan Turner doesn't help this team at all. I mean, he's just another guy to handle the ball. They already have enough ball handlers, more than enough ball handlers now with him in that rotation, and he's just hasn't been productive. He's not shooting the ball well enough. He's not playing enough defense. Obviously, no one is. And, he's overall been a completely negative acquisition for this team. Now, I think Mo Harkless also inked a contract extension, possibly. Not sure if that's right or wrong. Not sure exactly how good he is, what he really brings to the table. But if he's not bringing defense, you don't really need him. You need a guy that can guard, and Al-Farouq Aminu can guard, but they shouldn't be this bad. And maybe that is a reason to trade Lillard and McCollum, because, yes, those guys are your future, but Al-Farouq Aminu can't be the problem as a defensive player. Mason Plumlee probably isn't the problem either because he's a decent defensive player as well. I don't know if he's been very good this year. Obviously, their defense is ass, so he might not have been very good. Mo Harkless is supposed to be a decent defensive player. But we all know that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum aren't very good defenders. And I don't know, how great. I know they're great. Their chemistry is great on offense, and that's all great and stuff, but what is the solution? I think you might have to trade one of them and get someone really good that can guard for one of them. And I think you get a lot for them. I think Lillard and McCollum both have a crazy amount of value. They can both go for a lot. And you get a defensive player, someone that maybe fits your team better. I don't know. I mean, they could make some moves, but they gotta do something. I mean, this team is sinking. You don't know why. The defense is why, I guess, is what I'm saying, but you don't know exactly what the problem is. Terry Stotts is a very smart guy. I'm sure he's tried a lot of different stuff, but if he can't find a solution, you gotta do something. You gotta make some moves. You gotta change it up a little bit, and I guess the Blazers have to do that because it's not working right now. And I want to see this team be good. Damian Lillard is a fantastic player that deserves to be in the spotlight, and he should definitely be showcased more because he is such a great player, but he won't be if they keep this up. Maybe he's the problem. Maybe his defense, maybe George Karl is right somehow. I don't know about George Karl. I'm pretty skeptical of a lot of things he says just because, he kind of says stuff because he thinks them and doesn't really have a lot to back it up. Which I'm not sure he's even trying to convince us of something. I think he's just stating his opinion, how he feels on stuff. Like maybe someone asks him about what's going on in Portland. He's like, well, I think it's Damian Lillard because Terry Stotts is a great coach. Like, I mean, I don't buy the logic in that. But hey, if that's how he's feeling, I guess it's that. I don't really think that's a very credible source, but it's what it is. He's probably a pretty smart guy, to be honest. But yeah, the Blazers have a defensive problem. They have a problem in terms of record. Are they even going to make the playoffs? The Kings will make the playoffs for the first time in DeMarcus Cousins' career. They're on pace to right now. I mean, that's significant. I'm always talking about how the Kings should just let the dude go, let him play for a good team. But hey, this team, they're below 500, but they're an 8th seed. If they're a playoff team, man, that kind of changes a lot, from that point of view. So, yeah, we'll have to stay tuned on those Western Conference standings. Hopefully the Blazers find a way to turn it around. If they don't, you might see a trade. I don't know who's getting traded, but, it could happen. I don't think it's going to be Lillard, but McCollum is definitely a guy on the trade block. And yeah, it could be anything, really. They could make any type of move they want, but just be ready for it because I think that's coming. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, idea down below, subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.